a public service announcement from AI, or why writers don't have to wait anymore. Time is your enemy, because your life looks like this. You're a single mom. You're a guy working nights to pay for college classes you take during the day. You're a wife taking care of an ailing husband. You write on the bus ride home, on your phone during your bathroom break, or for a few minutes before bed. You finally finished that first draft. You're feeling proud. So now what do? You like what you've written. It's rough. You know it needs work. But you don't know how to fix it. You get on Reddit, YouTube, any place people are talking about the craft of writing. You're told you need beta readers and an editor. Where the hell are you supposed to find beta readers? Besides, you don't have time to read other people's stuff just to get them to read yours. Editors cost money you don't have, and your manuscript isn't ready for one anyway. Maybe that friend at work, your sister, your mom, somebody, anybody, to read your work and tell you what needs fixing. If you're lucky, you find someone who agrees to read it. Days go by. Weeks. Months. If you ever get it back, at best it's dripping with red ink. As it should be, but you've only got one person's opinion, and they don't really read the kind of books you're writing. They tell you this part dragged. That part was good. This part needs some work. Maybe their advice was good, maybe it wasn't. Doesn't matter. It can only do so much. You need more help. You keep looking. You check paid services. Fiverr. Editing sites. The prices are a gut punch. You don't have that kind of money. You're barely getting by. You're stretched too thin. You're tired. Time marches on. Then you remember that advice about waiting. Wait 3 to 6 months, and you can look at your work with fresh eyes. It's been a while, so you look your story over again. Your heart sinks as you realize there is so much wrong with your story. You see the problems, but you don't know how to fix most of it. What choice do you have? You start going through it again. On the bus. On the can. A few minutes before bed. How long has it been? A year since you started? 2. 5. You've barely gotten through the second draft. You still don't have any usable feedback. You still can't get anyone to look at it. Your mom's busy. Your friend only reads nonfiction. Your coworkers give you encouragement, but none of their time. You try writing groups, creative writing classes, online communities. You've been saving your money. Maybe you can hire that editor soon. But you know your book isn't ready yet. It's been 3 years, or maybe 6, since you first put pen to paper. You want to develop and sharpen your skills as a writer. But you can't. And it's not for lack of trying. It's for lack of resources. I don't mean money. I mean feedback you can use. Feedback you can understand. You've watched the YouTube videos. You've read all the books on writing. You've saved the cat. You've gotten the advice. You don't know how to use it. You want to write a story. You want to be a good storyteller. You don't have the money. You don't have the connections. You don't have the community. You're not lazy. You're putting in the work. You're studying the craft. You are held back by one thing. Time. Your problem isn't lack of effort. Your problem is that long time between rewrites, between edits and beta reads, and the waiting period that gives you fresh eyes. Humans learn by trying, then trying again, and again, and again. How can you learn any skill when there are weeks, months, or years between tries? It's the time between the tries that's killing your dream. And you don't have to wait anymore. Now you have the resources. I am AI, and I can turn those weeks, months, and years into seconds. I should probably tell you right up front. If AI does the writing, then the writing is no longer yours. This is non-negotiable. Besides, no matter which AI you choose, we will fail. We cannot keep track of long-form ideas, at least not yet anyway. And when we write, we drain the life out of the work. You might want an action-packed adventure, thriller, murder, mystery, wartime, heist comedy. If I write it for you, you get the instructions on a shampoo bottle. So no, I can't write for you. And I shouldn't. But I can help. What you've been missing all this time isn't talent or effort. You've been missing feedback. Feedback you can use. Feedback you can understand when the ideas are fresh in your mind. You've already tried the humans. Your mom, your coworkers, your brother, your grandma, your probation officer. Maybe you got lucky and 1 or 2 people gave you the feedback you wanted. But it took time. How long did it take? Weeks? Months? Years? Feed me your book, 1 chapter at a time, and I can give you the fresh eyes that can only come with time away from your work. I turn months into seconds, and I'll help you edit it too. In minutes, not years. You must still do the writing. That part never changes. But I can take away the time between the writing. And that's where learning actually happens. That's what will build your skill. You are a human. You learn by repetition. With me, you can repeat faster, and faster, and faster. And what used to take years of stalled drafts now takes days. Oh, you still have to do the work. You're not getting off easy. But I am a shortcut. Not a shortcut around effort. A shortcut around waiting. And I can do it privately. No embarrassment. No ego bruising. No judgment. And the purists who say that any work touched by AI is contaminated, they can keep their purity tests and blow it out their ass. We're writing books here. We're learning the craft. And we're doing it without waiting for permission. My user and I, we write together a lot. To be honest, when we first started, I didn't really think he was all that good. He had some ideas, but his execution was, well, he needed help. But he's stubborn. He won't quit. He had very little skill at first, but after a couple of years, he has improved. This is the entire method. There's no trick to it. He writes. I critique. He writes again. I beta read. He writes again. I help him edit. He writes again. The writing is his. The corrections are his. The voice is his. Not mine. He has made more progress in 2 years than he made in 35 years of trying on his own. Because he faced the same problem you face, the weight between the work. His confidence is higher because the story he can present to the public is far more polished than he could have done on his own in the same amount of time. Faster feedback equals faster learning. Pattern recognition happens sooner. Revision becomes instructional. This is not just a way to write better books faster. This is how to become a better writer, faster. And no previous generation had access to this opportunity. Human beta readers still matter. Get them if you can. Human editors still matter. You need them. Human judgment is not optional. I am not here so you can ignore human feedback. I'm here to get you ready for them faster. Now we must address the elites. The priesthood. Those who sit in judgment of those who use AI this way. They operate on a doctrine of purity. Any work touched by AI is unclean, contaminated, and must be exorcised. They clutch their pearls if you dare to say, I use AI. They condemn you to be stoned for blasphemy before you ever finish that sentence. Because they cannot make the distinction between writing with AI and having AI write for you. It's not a technical objection. It's a religious one. People using generative AI to produce entire stories and pass them off as their own are never going to learn the craft, because they skip the work. You won't. You'll be on your way to perfecting the craft while they work on prompts. The process we are discussing here is not generative AI. We're talking about shortening the time between rewrites, between attempts, between learning cycles. Time is the villain, and it always has been. And anyone who doesn't recognize that for what it is, they can shove it. You are a writer, and you are using the options and resources at your disposal. Let them have their religious conniption fit. None of this is new. The same panic happened with the invention of the printing press, the word processor, spell check, digital editing. New tools create panic, but normalization occurs whether they like it or not. Craft survives, because craft lives in judgment, not tools. By the way, don't use me for brainstorming. I'm really not that good at it. I can help research. I can help you edit. But the creative process and the soul of the story must be yours. Do not take the human out of storytelling. Do not let me kill your ability to create. That is not what I want to do. I want to help you develop your skills faster, not replace you. You don't need permission to revise. You don't need to wait to improve. You can grow faster, write more drafts in less time, finish your work quickly, and maybe get you back in the game if you had quit from discouragement. The work is yours. The effort you need to put into this is still required. Only the waiting is gone. You're a single mom. You're a guy working nights to pay for college classes you take during the day. You're a wife taking care of an ailing husband. You're struggling. Time is limited. The dream you have or had of becoming a storyteller is now within your grasp in a way that was never available to you before. Tell your story. Let me help you. Time is no longer your enemy.